Okay, let's go.
Okay, just tell me when I am
We're live.
Now.
Yeah, we're live.
Hello, everyone. I'm Victor, and tonight we have a super special event to present for you. Tonight's the Alumni Night, the Data Science. And I'm not alone tonight. I am here with Chloe. Chloe, do you want to present yourself?
Of course, I'm going to present myself. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chloe. I work at Wagon along with Victor. We take care of the marketing and the events management. And tonight, we're very glad to welcome back some of our ex-students to talk about their experiences post-bootcamp. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And thank you for the people that are on our YouTube live tonight. I think that it's the turn of the alumni to present themselves if you don't have anything to add, Victor.
Okay, let's start with Aniele. It's okay? Aniele, can you talk about your history? How did you enter the Wagon? Talk about yourself, I want to know.
Okay, hello everyone, good evening. I am Aniele. I'm a teacher from Wagon, and also I'm a data analyst for Ford. And I have a background on electrical engineer, electronic engineer. And in the beginning of this year, I did the bootcamp in January. And after that, in some, I think 3 months after the bootcamp, I started working. And I have a lot of things to share tonight. So just presenting myself quickly. After that, we can talk a lot.
So do you want to choose anyone to talk now, Aniele? You can
Yes,
can
let me see João.
João.
Go with the guy.
What a surprise. My name is João Vitor. I gave class for this last batch, 10-11. It was a pleasure, very good batch. I came from law background. I graduated in law, working a little bit with it. And then I went to the family business, and it was very good. I learned a lot about administrative stuff, but I was always doing some Python and trying to figure out some automation or something that I could do different than Excel. And the beginning of this year was a really big change in my life, and I wanted to leave Brazil, but I also wanted to do it in the right way, to work with what I wanted to work, that was with Python programming. And when I was searching to how to change it, I looked for a bootcamp and I found Wagon. At the beginning, it was maybe some of you were with the same doubt about web development or data science. And to me, it was data science because I think it was would talk a little bit with my work experience, and I could use it in business and stuff like this. And I would, and it was a great decision for me. I think that's it. I need to say someone else. No.
Yeah, exactly.
You select someone
Who
else.
is the next? Yes.
I will select my 10-10, Pedro Gontijo.
Ooh, Pedro.
Hi guys, how you doing? Hope you're all having a great day. I'm Pedro. I'm a data analyst at a company called Wesper. I was a classmate along with João on batch 869. NEL was RTA at that time. What a great experience. Good to see you all. And well, basically, I come from an architecture and urban planning background. I've been an architect for the past 10 years, but after all this time, I wasn't seeing myself as an architect no more. The market just put me down, and I was just tired of that. And a good friend of mine who was also an architect graduated with me. He started programming just for fun, but since he was a kid, and he became a data engineer. But this is all coincidence. And when I was talking to him about changing paths or changing what to do in my life. He mentioned it to me. He mentioned Wagon, and he knew a girl who did it in Barcelona. It was a great experience. And then I went into to search what was all this fuss about, and I found out the course and made lots of sense to me. I took it, I got hired, and here I am now.
Okay, who is the next, Pedro?
Well, let me see.
You can
who
choose
I know
Gustavo, André, Cicero.
here. Geez, I don't know any of them, but let's go with Gustavo. Gustavo is fine.
Okay. Gustavo. Oh. So, there's another one.
Jesus, the other one, Cicero,
I
maybe?
can go. Okay,
André.
go ahead.
Oh, it's not the same. Okay.
Okay, I can go then. Hello guys, nice to meet you all. I'm from directly from the last batch, the one that finished in September of this year. I come from an economics background, but actually I don't have like a pretty linear trajectory. I started working with finance in the beginning of my career, but I was not really into what I was doing. So I spent a couple of years with my own businesses, and where I got the chance to be involved in a lot of different areas of like when you run a company. And eventually I decided that I wanted to specialize in consumer behavior field. So I took a master after I had this experience with my business. And right after I finished my master, I started work in a fintech here in Brazil. That was like, my role was really more devoted to market research, but I also performed a lot of specific analytical projects. But yeah, well, I guess we're gonna talk a little bit more about it in depth of why I found that Wagon was an interesting experience for me. But yeah, I mean, I took the decision to enroll in the course in, I don't know, maybe in the first semester of this year. It was something that I was already considering for a couple of years also. I had friends that took the course before. And yeah, nowadays I'm working at Global, which is the largest media tech of Latin America. Super happy in a new position as a senior data analyst, working with digital products, and more specifically with payments and anti-fraud solutions. And I choose Cicero now.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, André. Good night, everyone. My name is Cicero. I was in the same batch as André. I have the privilege to have João and Daniel as my TAs. Thank you, guys. So last year I was finishing my degree on mechanical engineering. I was not expecting to work on it, but I did a MATLAB class that was in coding that I really like it. And I talked to a friend about Wagon. She said she did the web dev course. She really liked it. And I watched some demo days, some other videos, and I really like it. So I think, okay, let's do this. And I started to prepare myself. I really prepared myself like 4 months doing the prep work. But when it started, it was really different. It was difficult. It was hard, but it was really good. I really enjoy myself during the course. And nowadays I come back to my hometown and I'm working for a company as a freelancer, that data analyst, doing some reports using Python. I'm really liking it. I feel like I'm helping and learning more. So that's it.
Okay, is anyone missing? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay, we can go to the first question. That's questions for who are employers, okay? What are you working now, and how hard was to get this job? Okay, so let's continue the same sequence, starting with Aniele. Aniele, what are you working now?
I am a data analyst. I think most of the guys here are data analysts. So we have like the same job, at least. I think in data analysis, we need SQL, essentially SQL, and we need a lot of visualization tools, like good tools to make some good graphs, know how to do dashboards, know how to do a data analysis, a script for data analysis. So we need these tools that are the beginners one that we learn on the bootcamp. I don't know if someone that is watching us know how is the bootcamp organized, but in this I think 3 or 4 weeks in the beginning of the bootcamp is totally dedicated to data analysis. So we are just plotting a lot of stuff, trying to understand how to do analysis, and this type of knowledge was essential to my work right now. It's very good, all the tools that I learned on the bootcamp, because this is super necessary. I think how hard it was. I think it's difficult if you don't have any experience in the field. It's very difficult to start to build your resume and put all the stuff that the recruiters want. But since you start to do something, at least a freelancer or something very initially, it's quite easier to you to get in the field. So I think, I don't know, but after the bootcamp, I think that the means it's around 3 or 4 months. I think that's it. Someone wants to add something?
Thank you, Aniele. I'm waiting for the people in the YouTube live to put the question if they have. Let's just wait a second to see if everyone has a question for you.
Can I say something? Sorry, about this part of searching for the job, because I think the one very important thing is not to settle down for only junior roles, or only I can be a senior or an analyst, nor junior nor senior. Let's the guys that have to decide if they like you or not to tell you that for them you are junior or senior or stuff like this. Apply for the role. Don't be afraid to apply it. Like it will be difficult for you to have 100% of what the description says you have to do, and most of the times they will hire someone that doesn't have all the experience, for sure. And I think my friends here can say the same thing about this. Just try not to limit yourself just because you think that you are junior or that you are a senior. Don't be too much like I'm not this quite yet, you know. Don't be like this, because this will be a problem for you when searching for roles, for sure.
I would like to add the questions for Aniele before anyone has another. We have another question here, and on YouTube too we have a lot of questions. For Aniele specifically, because regarding to being a woman in the tech world, did you felt like it impacted something in your journey of looking for a job, or in any moment of your journey in data science in the bootcamp or after the bootcamp, you felt like being a woman has an impact on your opportunities?
I think my background maybe interfere in this topic, because I came from a university that is electrical engineer, and most of my colleagues, most of the students of my graduation course was men. So I don't know if I have a class with 50 students, 48 will be men, until we'll be woman. And that was very common to me to be in a space filled of men. And I don't know, in tech area, in coding, from the bootcamp, from my work, I just have one woman colleague in my stack on the company. So yeah, it's like few women. We have just 2 or 3 of them always. Also in the bootcamp, also in the classes, the lectures. But I don't know how to explain how is that to me, because like I have this experience before, I don't feel like very outside. But yeah, for sure, it's few women. We need more. Please, girls, come. But of course, this is a very good time, very good group, and we always be welcomed here.
Thank you
for your question. I don't know if I answered.
Yeah, totally. Kalina is asking in the chat, so I'm going to just repeat. We saw during machine learning and deep learning weeks the diversity of algorithm and application. Should we specialize in a field or a subject, like recommendation system, for example, or be more generalist?
My answer to that, I can go. Cool.
Yeah, sure. Anyone can add. I mean, I think it's a general question.
Okay.
So anyone that has something to add can add, of course.
To this question, Kalina, I think it's a lot of things to be specialized, because we have everything from the data science, data ML ops, and also data analysis on the bootcamp. We cover almost everything, at least the big topics. And we have these 2 paths. If you want to specialize in something, if you want to do an MBA like João is doing right now, if you want to do some other complementations to your career, like to choose a path, it will be very good. We will have a lot of opportunities, employee opportunities, job opportunities, because every time that you get more specialized in this field, you have a better market to apply. And also, if you want to be generalist, we will have like a junior entry-level job opportunity. So it's up to you. You can do both, but you have to choose what you want.
Yeah, if I may compliment, it was not quite clear to me if the question was like regarding the bootcamp. During the bootcamp, if one should focus on one type of algorithm or something like that. If it's so, I don't believe so, because you have so much content, that is very difficult for you to focus on a specific task or algorithm. On your final project, you're like probably gonna be working on some kind of algorithm. Sorry for the background noises. But like I would say that afterwards, when you finish your bootcamp, I would say that it's actually a good strategy, especially if you have some area of interest. I don't know if I want to work with NLP, or I don't know, maybe regression problems or something that you have a problem in mind. It's actually pretty good for building your portfolio, this kind of stuff, because you're already aiming at something and you can show how skilled you are, and eventually get an advantage in the market or in the industry that you want to act, and eventually get a job based on it.
Thank you. I think that Pedro had a question or an answer to give.
Yeah, an answer. Basically, talking about only my personal experience, I came to the bootcamp knowing zero, and I left the bootcamp knowing a lot. But as I said, I didn't have a tech background. So for me personally, I took the way of being more generalist, because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where I wanted to go to, because there were so many options, and I just wanted a first step, a first opportunity in the market. So I didn't focus on NLP. I didn't focus on deep learning, on some heavy machine learning pipelines, or this kind of stuff. I just kind of keep it cool and did some personal projects and personal analysis, like just playing around, putting on practice everything I learned. And then the opportunity came to me as a data analyst. So just like Danielle mentioned, I'm having like SQL for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. So now it's something that to me makes lots of sense. Again, in a personal matter, in a personal side, I'm trying to understand and improve as much as I can on this area. And I don't know, 2, 3, or 4 months from now, I wanted to expand a little bit more, and then maybe start looking at different tools, how to implement them on the work. But as a personal suggestion, worked for me. I would keep it a little bit more generalist, unless you have a really specific area of interest that you can cover in the bootcamp.
Thank you. João, you want me the next one to explain what you're doing right now post bootcamp?
Sorry. Yes. After the bootcamp, as I have been a TA for Wagon, I have been a teacher. It was a great experience. I love to teach, to be with you guys. I learn a lot from you. But I wanted I wanted to leave Brazil to work in Europe. And as I was searching for the roles, and as I know Pedro did, I applied for a lot of roles, a lot of jobs, but I was applying more here. And here is different. I'm doing a master in data science in Unibo. It's the best university of Italy, University of Bologna. And but I did so because a lot of the roles here asked even the junior roles asked for a master, because he is different. You do a 3 years graduation, and then you do a master of 2 years. Mine is only 1, but normally it's 2 years, the master. And this question that Kalina, I'm sorry if I pronounce wrongly, I asked my teacher just 2 days before, and she said that it's important for you after some time to decide something that you want to do more. But if you don't have the basis, if you don't create something to where you can add on or build upon it, it's difficult for you to choose a specialization, you know. And this I agree 100% with Pedro. And I think that for you, for sure, you would like to have a little good base, and then decide what you like to do in the future, because you have to decide it, not let the market decide for you. You know, you should choose what you want to work with, at least to direct your experience on it, you know, doing projects on something that you like. I don't know if I responded as you wanted, Chloe.
Oh, for sure. Thank you. I'm just gonna, hope we can make it quick so everyone can answer our first initial question about the first job. But I think it's important because it comes to the right time. We have a question on the YouTube chat from Lucas, who wanted to have your opinion about the opportunities abroad to work in the field of data science abroad, like outside of Brazil. If you think that it would be something easy or something very challenging to find a position that could be done remote. What about the salaries? Those kind of things. What do you think about this?
Personally, I'm working abroad right now, like remotely, but for a US company. Well, I wouldn't say it was easy, but it's the only one who gave me the opportunity. So yeah, I don't know how to interpret this. But, well, to be honest, most opportunities, Brazilian and abroad, they will ask you for technical stuff. So you have like a homework to do, an analysis to perform, and something to deliver after, I don't know, a couple of days. But it's, well, it's something that we make up on our minds, but it's pretty simple, to be honest. It's better than dealing with people here in Brazil because they are pretty straightforward. And if I can suggest, please aim on startups and small companies, because I think they will give you more chance to grow. And I don't know, they will look at you in a different way. If you go for a big tech traditional company, they will ask you for lots of specializations and CVs and courses and all this kind of stuff. But on startups, they are so much more loose, and they accept you for soft skills and previous experiences that you might have. And, well, it's no mystery, but English above everything. Practice your English, train your English every day, and be able to communicate. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you must be able to like spread the word and pass on a message. I think that's the main thing to master right now.
Thank you, Pedro. Another quick question about finding a job. Thomas is asking if you think it's easier to look for a formal or freelance job, or is it the same thing? Or it depends on what you're looking for. I guess that's what he wants to say.
I have a friend that he programs very well in Python, and he was in Orkana, like doing very good job. I think that the freelance thing is that you can choose, you can decide, you can get more confidence with time, and it would help you to create a portfolio and to create some experience for applying for roles, formal roles in companies, you know. Maybe one is the complement of the other. And this friend of mine, he was working with it while he had a formal job. He was working on the weekend. So it's something that you could do both, actually, depending on the formal job that you had.
Okay, let's hear the story of someone else before we move on to the other questions, because they're piling up, and otherwise we're not going to have the time to hear everyone. So who wants to be the next one?
I can say something. Nowadays, as I said, I am working as a freelancer, and it's been really good. I didn't really know what I have to do when I started, which I had to talk to the boss and ask what he needs. I can program, I can code, I can take some CSV files, some Excel files, and do some reports for you. What do you need? And he said some things, and I used some tools that we learned in Wagon, like pandas, NumPy, matplotlib, simple things like. And now I'm thinking about what I can use, like machine learning on this or some deep learning. It's like João said, you can start small, you can generalize, like Pedro said, and you will get motivated during time. You will solve for this. You will get better. It's so much that we learn in Wagon, and we only realize this in the final project and after this doing the jobs. So I would say, go for it, risk yourself.
Thank you, Cicero. So we go back to the to the box of questions. Thomas asked, after the bootcamp, do you think it's a good idea to look for a master's degree to complete your education, or to gain experience in the market? I guess the question behind it is the bootcamp sufficient to find your dream job, or do you need more?
I'm doing master, and sorry, I don't want to get in front of other. I'm doing a master because I felt that to work on Europe, a lot of companies were asking for it, and it seems that's something important for them to have, like a graduation in this way. But I can say to you that I am more than a month doing the master, that I learned much more in the bootcamp than I did in this month here. It's very theoretical. You take more time to do the things, and I'm not doing the master because I didn't feel prepared. I was prepared to work or to start doing whatever it was. You will not always feel 100% prepared, but I was like ready to work for sure. But depends on what you want also. I knew that for what I wanted, it seems the better way to get there, depends where you are directing your career.
Yeah, if I can compliment João, I would say that it's exactly about that. It really depends on what is it that you want. I mean, given my personal experience, I was already working in a sort of data analyst position where I was working before, but I think that is this kind of spectrum, when you are like more close to the business side and perhaps performing more real-time analysis, or I don't know, producing dashboards and giving more kind of superficial insights, if I can put it this way, or you can be more close to like data science teams, or be one of these hard science data science that is going to be like get your hands dirty and testing and try to improve the model, or be more involved with this technical part. So I think that there exists this spectrum, and you want to kind of understand where do you fit in this range, So for instance, I am nowadays working as a data analyst, more close to the technical part, but still I'm not like a data scientist myself. I work with data scientists. I participate in the discussions, which is like after the bootcamp is pretty useful. All the knowledge that I have, I can like discuss the models, I can discuss the features. I know how the work is done, and I know how can I contribute with relevant stuff, but this is not exactly my job. So if you are someone that's not really into like, yeah, I see myself as a data scientist, I want to be working so much with like this more technical part, yeah, perhaps it should be interesting for you to consider to keep specializing, because that's the thing also, like it's a path that you always need to be constantly evolving and stuff. But if you are more like someone that wants to leverage your business knowledge, your domain knowledge, but also have like this kind of interface with technical people, I would say like go for a job, try to position yourself where things are going on, like this is something that also when I finished my bootcamp, I started to search for jobs, and you need to be like pretty strategic about, like don't take the first, the first job that you might be offered to accept it, because you really need to pay attention. What is the kind of technical stack that this company is working with? What kind of support you would have with it? I mean, it's just things that you need to consider in order to understand where you can see yourself in, middle term, long term. But yeah, I mean, this was something that I was taking into consideration. I want to be working with technical people, not perhaps exactly as a data scientist, but like today where I am, I'm pretty satisfied, with the things that I'm doing. I'm taking like full use of all of the things that I've acquired, and also like taking advantage of my business knowledge. So I think that, again, it really depends on what you want at the end of the day.
Exactly. I can complement Andre. Going to the question of Victor about how difficult it is to get a job as a data scientist. I think it's not the point to achieve a data science position. It's just how the things are done right now in the market, because we have a lot of companies that doesn't apply right now models, machine learning, deep learning, everything that is learned in the bootcamp. So just the big companies, just the companies that are data driven from years from now. So it's not difficult to look at these positions. We can give us research about this, and we will see a lot of positions. But for most companies, it's more useful to have data analysts, because it is in the beginning. We have SQL. We are trying to understand what are the data that the company has, and this is like a thing that is growing. In the company that I work right now, it's just like that. We have the data, and like it is a big company, a big industry company, we are growing and trying to apply all the data that we have in some models, in some real applications. So it's just something about the market. But we have an example of one of the alumni from Wagon that is a data scientist right now. I can talk about it because I know what he did to achieve this position. And he told me that is the same process, everything about the HR, everything about the resume and everything, same thing as we talked in the past, but also in the tech part of the position thing. He did a great job in the analysis in the model that they asked. They asked for a Jupyter notebook with a lot of analysis and also some models. And this student did a great job in this Jupyter notebook. So this type of differences, these little differences in the process of getting a job is what you can do. I think if you are trying to get a data scientist position, you have to get the best in all this, your technical stuff or your model stuff, and try that a lot. Build a lot of notebooks, try to send this for all the companies that you have the opportunity to send. And I think you will achieve that with some months.
Thank you everyone for your answers. I'm just gonna quickly go back to the question of Tim that is actually linked to the question of Lucas about how to prepare yourself to apprehend the interviews, the recruiting challenges, if you have recommendations on what it's good to put on resume, if escola is a nice thing to put on resume to highlight, and mostly what companies look for in your profile. And for the people on YouTube that don't have access to the box of questions here on the Zoom meeting, João answered, and I'm just going to quote it. I think that the better way to prepare yourself for a technical interview is to do some projects on your own. What do you want to work with? There are also books that are about machine learning and coding, like hands-on machine learning with, I'm not going to try it. Scikit.
Scikit-learn.
How is that pronounced?
Scikit-learn.
Scikit-learn. Aurélien Géron, and more specific to interviews, cracking the coding interview from Gail Lackman McDowell. I'm going to copy paste this from the people on YouTube live. Don't hesitate to give your answer live so that everyone can have access to it. Any more answers of like someone wants to add something about this?
I think on top of what you have already said, you know, the recommendations for those that do the bootcamp, we have like this career week as soon as we finish the bootcamp, And like there are a lot of resources that are offered for the alumni, depending on what you want. If you want to go to a data engineering path or a more business related path, or you want a more data analyst, data scientist. And then you have a lot of resources that will address these kinds of concerns. So what are the tools that recruiters will mostly need to see in my resume? What kind of projects? What kind of technical questions they might ask during technical interviews? So I think that it's pretty useful and valuable material that you're gonna have access, and it will cover all of the points that you want to know more about.
And just for you to know, guys, nobody asks you about specific things from a specific library, from a specific platform, from a specific framework. They will give you like a situation and you solve it the way you want, using the tools you want, and the better you use them, higher the chances to be hired in the end. So you don't have to memorize or do anything, but understand the context, understand the problem, and try to fix it the cleanest way possible.
Your mic is closed, Cole.
Are you muted, Chloe? I think. Chloe,
Yeah,
okay, no, you can do.
So I was asking who's next on the success storytelling post bootcamp. I don't think we heard one, right?
Sorry, can you repeat, Chloe?
Yes.
Next on telling us your success story post bootcamp. Did we hear everyone? I'm not sure. Did everyone talk?
I mean, I mentioned my on the beginning, but I can go a little bit more in depth. So, like as I speak previously, I used to work as a kind of data analyst, more related to market position, market research position, really serving more marketing product teams in the company I was working at. And I felt that although I had a lot of a high degree of autonomy to kind of develop my projects, I was always feel a little bit constrained by the lack of some technical knowledge and really kind of being able to deliver more impactful results. And I was really getting more enthusiastic about like how could I leverage data science skills and like putting more programming into my routine, the kind of analysis that I was doing. So I started to do it like on my own, you know, like try to research and study on my own. But I think that it depends really on how is your learning style. So I would feel that, you know, I'm trying to learn a lot of stuff, but it's kind of hard to see the big picture, you know, where does it all fit, you know, what are all of the steps of the machine learning process, what are the kind of algorithms that are more suitable for this kind of business problem that we want to work with. Because I mean, the business knowledge, understanding what kind of feature would be interesting to test and making this kind of hypothesis is something that I had, but the kind of the way that I would organize it, it was kind of the hard thing for me. And I also like am someone that really appreciates to have this autonomy at my work. So that's why I took the decision to make the bootcamp. And like after I finish it, I mean, I can say that if I were to go back to what I was doing exactly before enrolling the bootcamp, my potential impact would be much higher, you know, like from simple stuff as like, I don't know, maybe plugging into an API to kind of retrieve some data that you need, to kind of deploying a model that would be like constantly feeding the business with information that is super valuable. So yeah, this is a little bit of my trajectory. Nowadays, I'm much more working on the technical part at Global. And again, about the process of getting the job, I was kind of lucky, I would say, because they got in contact with me. So maybe if I can provide some tip, is like, take your time, you know, like to really understand what are the market needs. Try to find a kind of niche where your knowledge can be more exploited. Don't go to generalists. You know, I knew the kind of problem that I could kind of leverage my knowledge and my experience. And I know, even though some of us might not come from the same field or like the super strategic field for companies, we can always kind of try to tell the best story that will meet always a company that has an open position. So I think that this is very important, you know, taking some time to present yourself in a better way, to kind of, even though you might not have a lot of experience, but try to frame it in a way that will show some of your personal skills, that you are someone that is eager to learn and to, you know, to deliver impact for companies. I don't know, maybe this would be my advice. And also, just to complement, someone was asking about abroad opportunities. During my path, I also I got to stay in contact with some companies that were offering, you know, some jobs abroad, and it's just like going to search. It's about searching the sport platforms. We work remotely and this kind of stuff, but there are some companies that are about like outsourcing talents, and it's actually kind of easier for data people, I would say, if you are someone that is able to go through their process in terms of like, there are these steps, you know, you need to make their technical challenge, you make to go through a lot of kind of layers that are part of their funnel process. So I mean, there's nothing guarantee, you know, that I mean, you can do a lot of tests and business cases, and I don't know, don't get hired or stuff. There's not guaranteed, but at least I think if you are someone that is open to do it, to participate in these kinds of process, I think that there's the opportunities. Just a matter of like spotting these kinds of companies and going for it. Sorry, I guess I talked too much.
No,
No,
don't
it's never
worry.
too much.
Yes,
Thank you.
it's good actually. Chloe, what is the next question?
Well, first I want to be sure that everyone had the opportunity to present what they're doing, because I'm a bit lost, to be honest. I'm not sure that everyone had the opportunity to present their job. Is it? Let's go to the questions. On YouTube, Anna Flavia, that I believe is also on Zoom, good evening, has a couple of questions.
1 minute, Chloe. Flavia wants to do the question with the camera here. I think sharing the meeting, right? Anna? It's okay, you can read.
I will read her questions that she put on the chat. So the first one was about how did you lived your bootcamp, like about the feeling of being washed out by the amount of content, because she thought it was a lot of information in a short time. So more about the bootcamp, the experience, human experience, educational experience. What are your opinion about this? Sarah, okay.
Personally, I would recommend you to stop everything you are doing outside the bootcamp and just focus on the bootcamp, period. That's it. It's strange, but that's it. It's the best tip anyone can give you. Absolute focus on this.
Doesn't trust the process. You can go, Cicero. I go after you.
Thanks. I would say to take one day at a time, and during the weekends, if you think, oh, I need to study, or I need to rest. Take your time. If you want to study, study. If you want to rest, rest. And if you want to study something on the weekends for the bootcamp, do the flashcards. Take like an hour or two, do the flashcards, just to a little recap for you. I think for me, the thing that helps was there are some weekends that I did nothing and it was really good, and some others that I studied and feel really well. You will not finish all the challenges. Sorry to say that, it's impossible. No one finished it, but you can learn from it, and maybe one day you can finish it sometime. But just take our time. Don't. Sorry, but I forgot the word in English. Cobrar. Don't. Can someone say me?
Victor, ajuda aqui.
Sorry.
I think in charge. No.
I think
It's
I
okay.
think
We
don't
can
take-
get it.
Yes.
don't take
Don't
too
put
hard on
too much
yourselves.
pressure on yourself.
Yes.
Yes, thanks. Don't take too hard on yourselves. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, I think both Pedro and Cicero summed up everything, because it's exactly what Pedro said. Just do the bootcamp. Don't think about anything else, because you need all the time that you have on these 2 months and a little bit more. You really need this time, and you need every minute of your day. So, because we don't have time enough, I don't know, because I saw some people that finished almost everything, but you have to take your own time. You have to understand what is your path, how can you grow by yourself, and try to do each day at a time, exactly like Cicero because okay, today is machine learning, next week is deep learning, then in the next week will be data engineering, MLOps. So it's a lot of content in a very short period of time. So you need every moment of these weeks, and we also need to have a good mind to understand, to process everything that is happening. So every time that you get overload, try to stop a little bit, try to get your mind clear, and after that, start again and start again and start again, and trust in the process. It's everything that everyone in Wagon says every time. Trust in the process, do one day at each time, and try to not get overload. Try to give some breaks in the days, in the weeks, just to process everything, just to understand what's happening. And after the bootcamp, I know that's a lot of content, but after the bootcamp, you will see how much did you grow, and everything that you know right now, it's a lot from 2 months ago. And I'm sure that all this time will be very useful and will be a great opportunity, a lifetime opportunity. At least for me was, and I think for you too, maybe.
I was laughing
guys,
here, Annie.
sorry.
Sorry, Annie.
I'm here, but I'm in transit, so I can't open my cam. So, but thank you. Sorry.
Don't worry. But I was laughing here of your question, because if my friend Jonathan was here, he would say, trust the Wagon methodology, because we heard this a lot in the boot camp. And Pedro Aniel is here to not let me lie to you. In my 3rd week, on a Friday, I was in totally despair. I told to the whole class that I felt like I was struggling a lot, that I felt that I wasn't up to the task. And Thierry was our teacher. I don't know if you know them, if he gave class to this batch, but after that, you just need to trust that you are learning, and you see a lot of this during the project. Don't worry, you see that you will remember a lot of things that you thought that you would never be able to put into practice, but you will. Trust it, trust the process.
Ana Flavia put more questions on the YouTube chat, but some of them has been answered already.
So sorry, Chloe. I always have lots of questions.
No, absolutely not. No problem.
Sorry for that.
Ask your questions.
It's just because the wagon is on a roller coaster of emotions, and this week has been really tough. My colleagues here can say.
But you all did it at the end. You succeeded. It's tough, but you succeed at the end. Tim asked another question on the chat that I'm gonna read out loud for the people on YouTube. Which parts, task, environment, job characteristic of your job is the most different than your expectation before and or during the bootcamp? The surprises.
I think for me was the access of data. It's very difficult to access data in a big company. It's exactly like Pedro said in the beginning. You have to take a lot of courses. You have to take a lot of specialization in a big company. And after weeks and weeks of asking for data, they will give you something to you to start work. So it's very, I don't know about startups. I think in startups that can be very faster than big companies, but to apply what you learned in the bootcamp, it's not so fast like that. It's not so intuitive. You have to prove that you know everything that you know, and you also have to prove that you are able to receive the data and everything. At least for me, that was a thing that I wasn't expecting. I was expecting a perfect CSV at the first day, but it's not like that.
Believe me, it's so worse than that.
Thanks, everyone. Anyone has something to add? About the Wagon experience, talk about your jobs, your journey on finding a new job. If you go back in time, what was your impression? Was it hard? We know it's hard, but how hard? How impossible it felt? How did you live the experience? What did you thought about your project? Did you look back nowadays to what you did during the bootcamp? Tell us more.
I don't know if I understood this a comparison between after the bootcamp and now. Can you repeat, Chloe, maybe?
Yeah, just what was your feelings during the bootcamp? If nowadays sometimes you go back to the projects you provide, what kind of tips you can give to our students that sometimes feel demotivated, feel that it's impossible to go to the end?
Yes.
It's motivational talk time.
Yes. I think I talk a lot of that about that with a lot of students, but I think it's something that I already said here. It's about live one day at a time. Today is about that, so go straight forward to the challenges, try to understand through the method that Wagon teach you about. And I think this process, it's not possible to be motivated every day. I think just João is like that, but you can always try to live one day at a time and try to get what you have to be done. Just complete the challenge that you are working on, and next day will be a new day, and try to do that every day. And I think in a very short period of time, we will finish the bootcamp. This is my opinion.
And also, I think that if I could give an advice is like for final projects, like we know that by the end of the bootcamp, we don't have like a lot of mental energy. So like try to take your time, you know, to organize yourselves in groups to really kind of segment what each one is going to do, you know. So because at least you know that on your final delivery, you're going to be really focused on like optimizing the mental energy that you got left, you know, to be really delivering something that's very useful. So yeah, I would say that in my opinion, this was something that really helped me in my like last weeks of project. I took some issue that was not quite clear to me during the bootcamp, and I tried to learn as much as I could during the project weeks. So for me it was super positive experience. So maybe I would give you this advice.
Anyone else wants to share a Wagon experience?
I think Pedro wanted to say something. No, Pedro?
I was just going to say it's pretty intense. Get used to it, but make the best out of it as well. Like reach out to the teachers, reach out to the TAs, reach out to your colleagues, because sometimes you're paired with someone that can help you a lot. For example, in our batch, we had a guy that he had a statistics degree. And every time we had some trouble in this area, we would reach out to him and he would help us. He wasn't the TA, he was a student, just like the rest of us, but he could help us a lot. So guys, ask for help. No pride here. Like if you need, ask.
Can I say something that I think it's important not only for the bootcamp, but the searching of jobs and your careers? Is the moment that you stop comparing yourself with yourself and you start comparing yourself with the colleague that's beside you, you lost focus of what's important. So it's only a war between you and yourself, and it's the long run that is important. It seems like a lot of questions, and I used to do the same questions here, is trying to find a pattern in the search of jobs, in the feeling, in the bootcamp. Everyone has its own background. Everyone comes from a different from different experiences, and you see that this also happens with the jobs. Is very schizophrenic. Like we have a lot of examples here, like André left the Wagon just now, and he's senior data analyst. Aniel could get a job in a big company. Pedro works remotely for the United States, something that guys work 10 years and they are not able to get it. Mateus worked with us like a year as a teacher, very good one, and now he's a senior data. I went for the master. Everyone has its own background. Everyone has that your own desires, your own objectives, and this is the most important thing. Not should I specialize, should I generalize? You should know yourself, like what you want to do. Use this. There is a lot of things to learn, a lot of things I could apply what I saw in the bootcamp, a lot of models, a lot of machine learning, a lot of deep learning. Okay, we use this on your favor. Like, what do you like to do? Do it for yourself, do some projects. This will be for your best interest for sure. And then you find the path, you know. That's the way I think, at least.
Thank you, João. Motivational guy. Thank you.
Thanks, coach.
I just wanted to say that I'm going to close the live on YouTube, but the Wagon people can still be talking. Thank you to everyone who participated on YouTube. The video is going to stay there if you want to rewatch it, and you will find all the information about the Wagon and our wonderful bootcamp in the links in description. Goodbye.
Someone has last words?
The people of the Wagon can continue chatting, but we're gonna public retranscription.
Goodbye, everyone. It was a pleasure. And congratulations, Chloe.
Okay, we're not